Yet he wasn't a scab or odd in his views. For his union reports that he paid his dues. Scab or odd in his views, he would not say that, my employer is not paying me due wages, he hasn't given me the bonus, he is not increasing my wages, he's exploiting me. No. These are the scab views. These were the views of Karl Marx. These were the views of Frederick Engels. These were the views of, these philosophers who went against capitalism, who exposed its limitations. But nay, he didn't. He was very obedient. And his reports suggest that. He paid his dues. Paid his dues. He may be a good income tax payer. He may be a good, like today you are being, you have to pay GST, you have to pay CST, you have to pay SST, and so many taxes are incurred on the products, and you pay them easily. And you don't say that this GST in Indian context particularly is a very complex kind of a system and it does no good to an individual. But we accept it. We are the unknown citizens. We serve the greater community. As long as we do this, we are great citizens. We would be given a good character certificate. Our report on his union shows it was sound. The union report is a different report and our report is a different report. Now our report would be matched, the report of the state, with the report of the union that comes from the factory. And it says that he is good. This unknown citizen is good. He is worthy assent. And our social psychology workers found that he was popular with his mates and liked a drink. Social psychology workers. Now he is giving you a glimpse of your society, how many institutions are there which are following you. And social psychology workers would say that he was not, though he was not scab or odd in his views, and secondly, he was also not bad in his social conduct. Psychologically he was sound. He would take a drink. He would crack a joke with his friends. He was not in depression for that matter. Or he did not let people know that he was in a depression. All the oppression of the capitalism was not obvious in his conduct. He didn't show that. He was a saint. The press are convinced that he bought a paper every day and that his reaction to advertisements were normal in every way. The press is another important component of postmodern society, and surveillance and spreading of ideology happens through press. And press was also convinced with him. Why was press convinced with him? Because whatever press gave him, he took that. He says that, it says that he bought newspaper every day. I do not buy a newspaper. I do not watch television. I do not watch the news on the television. Because I am not willing to buy the stuff that they want to give me. So I won't be the saint. Because I am not following them. I am not accepting their product. But he did. Now since he did, therefore he is a saint. And if you do not do it, you are not a saint. Because what media is bringing to you, you have to, accept that. Yes, it's fine. The news, the noise that you have at your home, if you are used to the news channels. There is no news, but there is a lot of other things that they bring to your homes. And if you are good at them, the advertisements that they bring you, the ideology that they bring you, the shaping of your mind that they do, if you agree with them and you give them good TRPs based on the product that they are selling you, so the media will give a good report of you. Otherwise, it may not. And this person, conducted himself well with the press also. So the report of the media and the press is also in his favor. Policies taken out in his name prove that he was fully insured, and his health card shows he was once in hospital but left it cured. Just look, I told you initially that it's about your privacy. It's about the information that an individual wants to give to state. And the state has every information. They have information about his insurance policies. Again, insurance policies are given by the capitalism. They are given by the state. And he was insured. He didn't say that I don't want to insure myself. I don't want to spend my hard-earned money on an insurance policy which would give returns to me after 20 years, after 25 years. No. He didn't do this. And once he fell ill and he was hospitalized, he took the proper medication. and left cured, which means that even after him being ill, he did not go to, any traditional way of curing himself. Like there could have been, say for example, we would say that he would have gone to, one who gives herbs to get cured. We say homeopathy perhaps for this, if I am not wrong. He didn't do this. He went to the state-run government hospital and he got cured. Both producers' research and high-grade living declare he was fully sensible to the advantage of the installment plan and had everything necessary to the modern man. And installment plans must not be a new thing to you. The loans which are given by the banks, and the mudra loans is very famous term in India, in Indian context. And this man was not odd against it also. He was sensible to the installment plans. He knew installment plans are good, but only he knows who has taken the installment plans or the loans, how good they are. You will have to repay them for 30-40 years and you end up, committing suicide. Look at the farmers, for example, in Indian context. They think that we'll get first something and then we'll repay it in installments, but they never are able to do that. And eventually they have to commit suicide. And those who would raise voice against this system, they won't be called saints in the postmodern era or in the modern era. But he is a saint because he is sensible to it. He knows its uses and therefore he has got everything which is useful for a modern man. What are useful things for a modern man? Auden tells you a phonograph, a radio, a car, and a frigidaire. Now, who tells you these are important things? The high-grade living, the research department. If you want to be a man of a middle class, if you want to be a man acceptable in your society, you must own these things. If you do not own these things, you will not be known. As I said, this poem is also about commodification of the citizens. So how would you be known? You would be known if you own a phonograph. In present day, you would say if you own an iPhone, an Android phone, if you own a refrigerator, if you own a washing machine, if you own a costly vehicle. So this is how you would be known. And if you wear, whether you wear Adidas, you wear Nike, you wear other things, and you would be known because of these things. So who you are, what is your real existence when it comes to your emotional existence, that's not considered. But this material existence is considered. And if you have everything that is needed, look at the word, needed for a modern man. If you want to be a modern man, these are the necessity things you must have. That's the ideology. That's the impact of the advertisements upon you. And if you agree with those advertisements, you are a saint. If you disagree, then you will not have all these things, because you say that, see, why should I get a vehicle on loan? Obviously, you cannot, if you cannot afford it otherwise, you have to go for loan. But then if you go for loan, you know what would be the end result of this whole thing. But then we go for loans because we are, programmed through ideology in such a manner that we have hardly any option left. Our research into the public opinion are content that he held the proper opinions for the time of year. When there was peace, he was for peace. When there was war, he went. Public opinion. His public opinion was good, which means he was not against the state. And he cannot be against the state. Louis Althusser tells you why you can't be against the state through his ideological state apparatus, through his repressive state apparatus. If you are against the state, you speak against the state will use repressive state apparatuses. They will use police, they will use army, and a citizen knows that he can't do this. And he also didn't do anything wrong with the state. He didn't went against the state. When there was war, he simply went and fought the war. When there was peace, he simply went to a factory and earned his livelihood from a factory. So there was no chance where he revolted against the state. So all reports are in his favor. And remember, he is unknown. Ironical, he is not unknown. You know everything about this person except his name. And the state is not interested in your name, because the state is not interested in your real existence. It's interested in your material existence, and that material existence, the information regarding your material existence is all with the state, and the state is sharing with you also. He was married and added 5 children to the population, which our eugenist says was the right number for a parent of his generation. Not a great information, not very difficult to understand. He added 5 children to the population. Today you cannot add 5 children to the population. You'll have to add a maximum of 2. Remember that, because that's the policy of the state, of the ruling class, of the greater community. And our teachers report that he never interfered with their education. With whose education? The education of their children. You have to send your child to the school, and then the school will learn the ideology of the ruling class. Again, understanding literature in context of the theories is important. Ideological state apparatus. Educational institutions, as per Louis Althusser, are the best ideological state apparatus that state has. Through it, it spreads its ideology. And here, the parents did not interfere in the education of their children, how they were programmed, why they were programmed in a particular manner. They are allowed to do whatever they want. Was he free? Was he happy? The question is absurd. Had anything been wrong? We should certainly have heard. Now tell me, was he free? It's you to decide. Auden didn't decide. It's for me to decide. Obviously, he was not free. Even if he was free, this free is ironical. Was he happy? No question on his happiness. No public institute or all these, institutions are which have been referred in this poem. There is not a single, institution which looks at the happiness or happiness of the individual. Something is missing, something is fishy out there. As I said, that these are not interested in your real life, in your emotions, with your happiness. If you are content with the material things that you have, then you are happy. There could be other things which are absent in your life and which could have been creating problems for you. Was he happy? So we say, as long as we are looking at his material existence, he was happy. Regarding his real existence, we have got no information, because state is not interested in that. And we have enough information from his real life, and we can realize that he is happy. But perhaps he was not happy. Had anything been wrong? He would surely have known. Had anything been wrong? Which means that no information seems to be missing from the state. There is no privacy. There is no freedom. There is no data that the state does not access. It accesses everything except what it doesn't wish to access. That is important. If there is any information which is left, that is deliberately. For example, the name of this person. Do you think that the name of this person was unknown to the state? But state knew the name was not important. The name reveals your true identity, and it takes you to your real existence. And capitalism is no way interested in your real existence. Read Historical Materialism by Karl Marx. If you don't know, you can refer to this lecture. The link pops up at the top of the video. And you will understand the difference between real existence and material existence. The state is interested in your material existence, and it collects all the information that it needs regarding your material existence, and it does not shun away to go beyond the limits in extracting that particular information, and having an relentless surveillance over you. And you and me are living in this age where our privacy is compromised, where surveillance is at its peak, and where our material lives are given more importance than our real lives. That was the poem Unknown Citizens. Highly relevant poem to the contemporary times. Highly anthologized poem of W H Auden. And a post-graduation would be incomplete without you knowing about the Unknown Citizen. That is all we have at your academy today. We dealt with W H Auden's poem Unknown Citizen, and I hope that this lecture was helpful for you and you were able to understand the poem The Unknown Citizen. Don't forget to share, like, comment and subscribe Your Academy. For more interesting stuff, keep watching Your Academy.